learners, welcome back to my channel, The Paradise of Grammar. So today we are going to be seeing the topic verbs and its two types. So we all know that verbs are a part of speech. And also we are going to be looking on the two main types in verbs that are important in our English grammar. And also we all know that there are a number of types of verbs like phrasal verbs, auxiliary verbs, clausal verbs, modal verbs, action verbs, and so many. Now today these two types of verbs that are transitive and intransitive come under the section of action verbs. So we all know what are action verbs, something that describes our action like running, walking, jumping, eating, drinking. All these are action verbs. So let's take a deep look at this topic. So now let's look at the general definition of verb. Words that describe an action, an occurrence, or state of being. It can describe an action like whether you are running, walking, or jumping. Any action of yours, an occurrence like what is going to occur, or a state of being. Now let's see about the object of verb. Everyone knows a verb has two parts, subject and object. So we look at object of verb, elements that are affected by action or that receive the action of the verb. Let's look this by an example. So what are they saying is elements that are affected by action. So what do you mean by affected by action? So we have got Ramu got a new book. In this sentence, tell me guys, what is the object? Yes, we all know Ramu is the subject because he is the person who got a book. So, here, new book is an object or book is an object? Yes, only book is an object because new is just an adjective added to this book. Now, this object you can see, this is affected by action. Ramu got this book. He got what? He got this book or received this action. This receives Ramu, right? Ramu got this book. So that's what they are meant to tell. Elements that are affected by action or that receive the action of the verb. Now let's look at two types of object of the verb, direct object and indirect object. Okay, yes. So we have differentiated three main points over here. Direct object, noun or a pronoun directly receives the action. Indirect object, noun, phrase receives action indirectly. Okay, for example, let's see with these both examples itself. She bought a book. So I want you guys to identify in this what is an object. Yes, you're right. Here, book is an object and she is an subject. Here, mother is an subject. Gift is an object. Okay, now, noun or a pronoun. Here, book is a noun or pronoun? It is noun. At least it is either noun or pronoun, anything. Directly receives the action. She bought a book, that's it. Who bought a book? She bought a book. Over, she is directly getting a book. She does not get a book from him. Okay, but here noun phrase receives action indirectly. Here they are not talking about the noun phrase. See, so here gift is a noun phrase, book is also a noun phrase, but in indirect object case. So this receives action indirectly. Mother gave him a gift. Mother did not give you a gift, right? Mother gave him. Mother, which is another person, gave a gift to another person. So this process is happening indirectly. That's what they meant to say. And now, direct object answers to what and whom questions, but answers to or for what and to or for whom questions. Like you can say, what she bought? A book. Okay. And to whom she bought? To herself. To or for what? For him. To or for whom? Him. That's it for direct object and indirect object. Now let's move on to the very main topic, which is transitive and intransitive verbs. So this is a bit tricky, guys, so be sure you watch until the end of the video. Okay, so guys, now let's see about transitive and intransitive verbs. So first let's see about transitive verb. A transitive verb requires an object in the form of a noun or a pronoun to complete its meaning. This object answers to questions whom or what. So what does this mean? Let's take for an example. Okay, the students write composition. So this student is writing a composition actually. Now what they're saying about the transitive verb is it requires an object in the form of noun or pronoun. You already know what is an object. So here identify an object. Yes, composition, because the student is a subject and composition, what they're doing, they're composing something, and that's why it's a object. Now it's in the form of noun or pronoun. It's not a pronoun, so it's in the form of a noun. It has to complete its meaning. The students write composition. So does this make any complete meaning? No. The students write composition. What do the students write? Composition. That's what. It answers for the question what. What do the students write? Composition. The same way, Peter loves Mary. Who does Peter love? Mary. So Mary is answering for the question whom. Okay? So this is what a transitive verb. See, the main difference of a transitive and intransitive verb is that transitive verb needs an direct or indirect object to make itself in a complete meaning. But intransitive verbs, those verbs itself act as meaning for the sentence. Okay, now let's see what is an intransitive verb. An intransitive verb is one that does not require an object. See, I told you, right? Transitive verb only requires an object. Intransitive verb does not require an object. Okay. This sentence may end with a verb, an adjective or adverb. For example, let's say this. The children sat at 7:30 p.m. So this is indicating a particular time. The children sat at the table. Where they sat at the table, it indicates place. The children sat quietly. This tells the manner. So all these if you have observed, these are adverbs. They're telling time, place, manner. You all know adverb of time, adverb of place, adverb of manner, adverb of degree, and all this. Because their mother told them to. Why the children sat? What is the reason for the sitting of children? Because their mother told them to. So their sentence may end with either a verb, adjective or adverb. Here only it ended with adverb, but it can also end with a verb or adjective also. Next, the questions one may ask with these forms are when, where, how or why. So here you can only ask who, whom or what, but here you can ask when, where, how or why. For example, the children sat at 7:30 p.m. When the children sat at 7:30 p.m. So this is answering when, right? The children sat at the table. Where the children sat at the table? Where the children sat at the table. Next, the children sat quietly. How the children sat quietly? It's in form of manner. And the reason for why the children sat, that means why the children sat, because their mother told them to. So now let's also look at how transitive and intransitive verbs transform into each other. Okay, so don't think why is she searching from Google, but this is a very important topic. Okay, now let's look at transitive verb is an action that requires or demands an object to receive the action. We all know this. Now the next thing is that It transfer the next point. It transfers the action from a subject to a direct object. So what they're saying, it transfers the action from subject to direct object. You all know what is a direct object. Next, a direct object can be a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase that directly receives actions from the subject. This point we already know. Next, transitive verbs cannot be followed by prepositional. Please do note this. It cannot be followed by prepositional phrase or adverbs. But it must be followed by direct object here. This is a verb, so we can't use another parts of speech here. And adverb is also another part of speech. But direct object is within the verbs. That's why it should be only followed by direct object. Okay, now let's look at some examples. He hits the ball. Here, hits is the verb. Hits is the verb, ball is the object. So in the sentence, the action that is hits, this is the action, directly transfers into subject, he. So this is transferring into the subject, right? Like he to the object, which is the ball. I think you can understand. This action is transferring into the subject and then the object. Okay, so just like that. So, as you understood transitive verb, we need not to discuss especially about intransitive verb, because transitive verb is totally opposite to intransitive verb. So you itself can understand. Here action came first. That means the subject will come and object will come after that. The action then comes. That's it. So thank you guys for this wonderful opportunity. So I hope you all understood this very main topic of verbs, which is transitive and intransitive verbs. Okay, and so please subscribe and like and also share these videos to others for those who struggle with the English grammar. And also, now I understood what are transitive and intransitive verbs. Thank you.